Welcome to the fucking awesome game review show. I am Knight Silveranato, and quite frankly, it's too hot to be wearing this hoodie in here. But anyway, today's game we're reviewing is Dragon's Crown for the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation Vita. RPG meets beat 'em up in this side-scrolling multiplayer game. You start off as a traveling warrior who comes to Highland in search of adventure, based on what the lone narrator tells you in the beginning.
Came to Highland as an adventurer.
Thank you, game. I just explained that, but I appreciate your input, so You can choose from 6 different classes. The all-around tough guy fighter, complete with armor, sword, and shield. The stout but devastatingly strong dwarf. The Amazon, of which the only thing bigger than the axe she carries is that ass. The dad ass. Quick elf, powerful wizard, and last but not least, the big titty sorceress. Which, let's face it, that character's probably like 90% of the reason most people even bought and played this game. You guys are perverts. You progress through the game by traveling to various dungeons and cleaning out the dangers inside. As you do, you level up, allowing you to carry newer and stronger weapons. You gain weapons by clearing the levels. As you clear the levels, you get loot. In that loot is weapons and items you can power up your character. When you get the loot, you can have it appraised. By getting it appraised, you can see how strong it is. From there, you can decide to keep it or sell it. Or you can just sell all your loot for gold. You can also buy other items such as potions from the shop run by Morgan. As you go through the dungeons, you can pick up piles of bones. Bones are the remains of warriors who fell in battle. As you collect them, you can take them to a priest to have them resurrected. Characters you can revive join you in battle. You can have up to 3 other characters join you on your missions. This can help as the game characters work pretty well on their own. The only problem is that with so much going on the screen, it's sometimes hard to keep track of your characters and what's going on. Yes, that is actually a bit of a problem. I mean, I'm sitting there playing the game and sometimes there's like so much going on that I think I'm doing something and I'm really just kind of sitting here in the corner going, whoa, and I'm not even hitting anything. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, that's not me. And yeah, a lot of the characters, especially the mages or whatever, they have like, some have some really just cool spells that just like do all this shit on the screen. It's really cool, but still sometimes I'm in the corner going, oh, there's nothing here. And then other times I'm sitting thinking I'm doing something and I'm actually just getting my ass kicked in the middle of everything, and there's so much going on around me that I can't see the fact that there's like some kind of zombie character like gnawing on my shoulder or something like that. So you really got to keep an eye on what's going on the screen, and you really got to try to keep an eye on your character. I mean, it does do the color-coded thing, but like I said, there's so much going on the screen, it's kind of hard to see the characters every once in a while, or at least your character. The story seems pretty stale at first, but as you progress, you can meet other characters and it gets a bit more interesting. Like I stated before, the narration is done by one lone guy, but I gotta say, he tells the story very well. While there's not any initial presentation to the background characters, as you play on, the roles in the story increase and you come across a very interesting narrative. It does get better as you play through. I mean, at one point it kind of feels like just going through emotion in some game. But, you know, there's still a lot of stuff going on story-wise, side quests and otherwise, where you see the characters and, like, they are kind of developing. So it does get a little more interesting. And you kind of be like, oh, cool, okay, so there's actually something going on here. Because at first, it kind of feels like there isn't. But you got to stick with it, and it does go somewhere, and it's pretty enjoyable story. I mean, even like I said, despite the fact that there's, like, not really a lot of going on with the characters, and your character is pretty much just like, it's just there. They're pretty hollow, but you know, it's pretty cool because in a way it's kind of making you feel like you're the character. Well, that would probably be why it's called an RPG, right? As you play through, the levels eventually have somewhat of a branching path. This comes up during the second half of the game when the story reaches main plot points. The flaw in the stages, however, are the fact that there are only so many, and you find you will have to play through the stages multiple times to level up. This can cause some repetitiveness, unfortunately. It wouldn't be so bad, but the problem is that every time you play levels again, you get the same narrative every single time. It can get kind of tiring, and after a while, it can really slow down the pace of the game. This really is the part where, as much as I like both genres, both RPG and side-scrolling beat-em-up, it kind of leads to, this is the one instance where it kind of doesn't work. Basically because, you know, in a beat-em-up, you're pretty much going from level to level, from beginning to end, point A to point B, until you reach the final boss, and you're done with the game. RPGs is like, you definitely have to level up, And usually in RPGs you have a wide area of place you can go through, you know, if you call it grinding, if you will. You know, you can grind stuff like that, and there's not a lot going on. I mean, you can kind of stop the story at any time you want and keep going. However, in here, like I said, the problem is that while you're grinding, you're still running into the same things over and over, and like you hear the narrative again. When you go to the point A to point B, when you have to choose between path A and path B, it's like you gotta sit through the whole thing time after time after time. And sometimes you like just start scrolling through, and it's like, yeah, I've heard it before, but then you accidentally like pick something you didn't want to pick, and you don't know what's going on. So, bit of a pain in the ass in that aspect, but you can also level up by taking requests. You can go through your Adventurers Guild and take on quests that the townspeople, much of which you never actually see, have sent to the guild to have taken care of. You can take these to gain more experience and gold to help you in your adventure. You can also level up your character's abilities. As you play and level up, you can acquire skill points which you can use to unlock movesets for your characters as well as level up the ones you already have. The game also has an online feature. You and 3 other friends, or hell, even random people you don't even know, can join in on the game and kick some monster ass. If you're a fan of playing beat 'em ups with other people, it's definitely a way to go. I kind of myself had a hard time like getting like full rooms, stuff like that, but that's probably because I'm late to the party on this. I mean, the game has been out since sometime last year, and I'm finally getting around to playing it real myself, which is a game I've been wanting to play for long. And I got it like a long time ago, actually. I got it back in November, but I didn't get a chance to actually start playing it till like, well, back. And I wanted to kind of get through this and finish it faster, but you know, life happens and stuff. So, like I said, most of the people who probably already wanted to play this game, they play it online, they did that and the other thing. So right now, unless I'm just having a bad couple of experiences, maybe the online presence for the game is not there as much, if it ever was, because like I said, it's been a while since I played this game. I mean, it's been out for a while, and I don't know, maybe it didn't take off as far as online gameplay goes, so it really just depends on how you look at it. The graphics are just plain beautiful. The entire world is hand-drawn from the characters to the backgrounds. The game looks better graphically than some of the other higher-end graphical games out there. I don't usually like to hype up graphics in the game that much, but you really can't help but take a minute to look at them in this game and be impressed. I mean, seriously, it's a pretty good thing to look at. You know, you're looking at some of these hand-drawn things, and they've done really well. It's like really high-res for the game, and I actually think it runs in 1080p as well, which is pretty cool. So there's a lot going on the screen with what characters in the background, and it doesn't really cause a lot of problems. So this game was actually visually put really well together, even just being hand-drawn and stuff like that. I know we live in this day and age where everything has to be all super realistic, and if it looks like this, it's too cartoony and I can't be bothered with it. But honestly, it's a pretty awesome looking game, and you gotta sit there and look at it for a second and be like, yeah, that's right. But you're probably staring at the source of boobs the whole time, so you might have missed it. Dragon's Crown is a game that you will like if you're into RPGs and beat 'em ups. And boobs. If you're a fan of boobs, you'll like it too. It does stutter in some places, but it's a good experience and you owe it to yourself to give it a try. While the music itself isn't really all that impressive, I don't think, it is very atmospheric, and it does kind of set the tone to what's going on. So, while it's not exactly some of the best music I've heard, it definitely does fit with the game and the situation, so it's not too bad. It is a lot of fun, so I'd go ahead and give this game a B+. It is definitely a pretty fun distraction, if not very long game, but it's pretty fun. So, you know, anybody who likes the side-scrolling beat 'em ups or the RPGs, go ahead and give this game a try. I think you'll like it. You can probably find it any place. Even if you have a PS Vita, which I'm sure somebody does, pick up the game for that, because if you have a PS3 or a Vita, or both, you should definitely try this game. And it does do the crossplay, so it'd be kind of cool if, like, I mean, not something that would make me get a Vita by itself, but it's kind of a cool feature. It's like you can play the game, definitely what the Vita was supposed to do in the first place, is like you can play the game on your PS3 and say you gotta go somewhere, and you can transfer the data to the Vita and just play and continue where you left off. Somewhere else in the Vita, say you're out somewhere and you have your Vita with you. At least I think that's how it works. If I'm wrong about that, I'm sure somebody will let me know. But it's a pretty decent feature, and I think it's something that should definitely be taken advantage of in further games down the line, whether they do it for PS4 or not. So let's see how that goes. Anyway, thank you for watching the fucking awesome game review show. And what the hell? Let's end this with just staring at boobs.